ॐ दक्षिणामूर्तिसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. The topic is, how do I proceed? A bird's eye view of the spiritual life. Various questions are asked about the spiritual life, how to go about it. There is a lot of confusion about proceeding with the spiritual life, whether you have to live your samsara, become a sannyasi, so on and so forth. What are the type of practices to be done, etc., etc. While various answers has been given by various texts and great people, great liberated beings, this is an exploration of the answer from the point of view of a sadhaka, that is by myself. I do not claim to be a liberated spiritual being, but as a person who has been on the path for some time and have faced various difficulties and have gone across many roads, some good roads, some bad roads, I would like to bring some clarity to people who require some Google map to proceed to their destination. Human life and time is very short, and one cannot afford to just go along squandering our time in wrong paths and wrong ways. So this is just a bird's eye view. I'll be using the framework of two frameworks, one from modern psychology and one from our ancient Vedanta. One framework is called the four Purusharthas, and from modern psychology, I'll be taking the framework of Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now, as you all know, our ancient Vedic wisdom says, and the Sanatana Dharma says, that there are four Purusharthas in life. Purushartha means for the purpose of the self. It's a blueprint for human life fulfillment, which helps us to create a balanced, fruitful, and a meaningful life at the deepest level. It helps us to evaluate our life and make decisions. What are the four Purusharthas? They are Artha, Kama, Dharma, and Moksha. Artha means, loosely it can be translated as economic values. Kama means pleasure. Dharma means righteousness, and Moksha means liberation. All these are loosely translated. We'll not be going into great depth, but just a small description of each of these, because it is important in our roadmap. First, let us take Dharma. Dharma on a cosmic level, it is called Reta in the Vedas. On the cosmic level, it refers to the cosmic laws that govern the universe, which keeps it away from chaos. But right now, for our purpose, we'll be dealing with Dharma on an individual level, wherein it means, among other things, the right way of living. We can define Dharma as the right way of living, a simple definition. It includes, to help you get a better idea of it, it includes being conscious in Kaya, Vacha, Manasa. Kaya means action, Vacha means speech, Manasa means thoughts. So being conscious in action, speech, and thoughts. It also means having compassion and sensitivity to the needs of others. It also means being awake to the existence of the divine within us and within others. Dharma is necessary for artha to be meaningful, and abundance of artha will be needed to support kama. So, dharma is the base for whatever we do. The Gita says that the greatest dereliction of dharma is to desert the helpless in their time of need. So, this can serve as another definition of dharma, that is to help others in their time of need, irrespective of our needs. Vedanta says that when you are living in dharma, our actions are spontaneously correct. We know what to do in any situation. We are in harmony, and our life is supported by everything around us. We feel complete within us, and life becomes effortless. So these definitions, these indications can serve to give us a gauge of where we are presently in the journey of dharma. If we feel that our actions are not spontaneously correct, if we do not know what to do in any situation, if we are not in harmony, if life is not supporting us, if we feel incomplete within us, and if life becomes an effort, it can be nothing wrong, but it is an indication that we are in the other side of the pendulum of dharma, and we have to gives an indication of how much more we have to move towards this. So this is briefly about dharma. Moving on to artha. Artha is the security of having material comfort that we need to live in the world with ease. With ease, please note, not with luxury. Nothing wrong with luxury also. Artha doesn't mean to be poor or to reject the world, but it means to be content with the things that we own. It is having enough assets to live and take care of our family without hoarding or being greedy. Artha is quite broad and includes our skills, relationships, career, health, prosperity, wealth. And it is the base or foundation for dharma and kama. However, it is also important that our artha needs do not violate dharma and do not pose an obstacle to moksha. So that is the limits up to which we should pursue artha. The Upanishads give a very important, they give a lot of importance to artha. In fact, the Upanishads say there is no joy in smallness, joy is in the infinite. So it is not a world renouncing philosophy. Now moving on to kama. Kama can be very simply defined as the desire for pleasure, happiness. A life without happiness, pleasure, and enjoyment is indeed hollow and empty. Here again, like Artha, Kama has a very broad, it includes a broad spectrum wherein sensuality, art, sex, music, beauty, love, affection, kindness, compassion, whatever in short which brings a sense of delight to our life is Kama. Kama has been very narrowly interpreted as lust or sex, but as we now saw in this definition, it encompasses a much wider scenario. Kama in balance is very vital, but excessive kama can lead to indulgence, addiction, sloth, lust, and greed. So, from a yogic perspective, to practice balanced kama means to be fully present with whatever we are experiencing. This, in short, will lead us not to go into indulgence. Ultimately, the Upanishads say that the highest karma is the longing for oneness with the divine. Now, before going to moksha, actually the Vedas first dealt only with the three purusharthas, artha, kama, dharma, and the concept of moksha came into uh, more wider usage in the Upanishads. Before going to moksha, let's now see another roadmap of modern psychology, Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Abraham Maslow says that the human being has five fundamental needs, which is formed as a hierarchy. They are the physiological needs, safety needs, love and belonging needs, self esteem needs, and self actualization needs. It can be imagined as a triangle with the base of physiological at the base. Higher to that is safety, love and belonging next, self esteem next, and the apex is at the top of the triangle. You can imagine it as self actualization. So, what Maslow says is in this hierarchy, till one need is met, the other need cannot be activated. So, physiological needs is obvious, the roti, kapda, makan, uh, the physiological needs of food and clothing is primary. As Vivekananda said, do not treat spirituality to a person who has an empty stomach. My first duty is to feed him. So, obviously, there's not much to describe in this. It is self evident. Next comes the safety need, the makan and societal this thing, what society has created. And once a person is well fed, is clothed, and has some safety from the vagaries of nature, this love and sense of belonging needs gets activated, which is fulfilled by society, your friends, the workplace, your family, relationship. You want to be loved and to be loved. Both are very important. And a lot of psychological problems are created when this is not fulfilled. We'll not go into much details. Once these three needs are fulfilled, uh, the next need which arises, which gets activated, is the self-esteem needs. This is a need which is uniquely human. Animals have this physiological safety, and in fact, even the love needs are also there in animals, can be seen. But the self-esteem needs from this onwards, it is activated in humans. The need to uh, have some esteem about oneself and to be seen as desired by others. Once all these four needs are met, the self actualization, that is, the need to realize one's full potential, to do whatever one is capable of, that need gets activated. In fact, during his last days, Maslow included one more need apart from this, is called as self transcendence, which can be, which is very much relatable to Vedanta. Self transcendence is to be going beyond our self identity. So, this in way, modern psychology and the four Purusharthas can be used as roadmaps to find out where we are in our journey of life, where we need to go, what we need to avoid, what we need to pursue, how much time to give to which aspect of our life. It can help us in taking decisions in our life based on what Purushartha or which need is being met. So it's quite useful. But just in brief, we just handled this. Now, before going once more into the moksha aspect, Um, we can say for our artha and kama needs, um, or for our self-actualization needs, we can say there are 5 parameters for success, very broadly. Uh, I'll just tell the 5 parameters. One is to be physically fit and healthy. Second is to be mentally alert. Third is to be financially sound. Fourth is to be socially connected. And fifth is to be spiritually connected. This is a way of a practical implementation of these models to our life, a broad guideline. Just a small uh, description of this. Uh, to be physically fit and healthy, there are 3 aspects. One is food, another is fitness. 2 aspects. One is food, another is fitness. To tell it very simply, we have to eat only what adds value to our body. This one simple guideline is enough. Anything which is manufactured in a plant, that is in a factory, is not good for us. And anything which is manufactured by a plant, sasi, is good for us. These two maxims, you can build upon this and write a whole book of what foods are good and etc. Ayurvedic way of living, so on and so forth. But broad guideline is eat what adds value to your body, and anything manufactured in a plant is not good. Anything manufactured by a plant is good. Regarding fitness, just one guideline: exercising for 30 minutes a day is mandatory, irrespective of age. This can even mean a 30 minutes walk. It's left to yourself how to explore further in this idea. This is just a broad guideline. Next, coming to being mentally alert. So just one guideline: consume at least 30 minutes to 1 hour of great content per day, each day. This will have a great cumulative effect. It may sound very simple, but over a period of a year or two, if you put in 1 hour of day to consume great content, you can imagine 365, nearly 700 hours of great content. If you consume, you can imagine the cumulative effect it will have in your life. Now, what is this content? It is reading, listening, watching. Reading great books, watching great lectures, seeing great lectures. So YouTube can be used, as all of you know, it's a double-edged sword. You can use it to listen to a lecture by a great Swami, or you can even use it to watch pornography. So that's the broad guideline. We'll not go much into detail. This is just broad guidelines. Next is to be financially sound. Now, to be financially sound, there's a lot of misconception about money in our traditional spirituality. Uh, See, let me tell you, as a counselor, I have found that 90% of people's problems relate to 3 things: either financial problems, health problems, or relationship problems. In fact, if to give a category wise this thing, we can say 80% of problems are financial problems, 10% may be health, and 10% will be relationship. And even in this 10% health and 10% relationship, they may also be to a large extent due to financial problems. Now we'll leave this health problem and relationship problem aside. This concept of money, though the major percentage of problems in common human life is financial, yet money is a closed door discussion in families, schools, and colleges. People say money can't buy happiness. Yes, it is true, but neither can poverty buy you happiness. So, if neither money can buy you happiness, nor can poverty get you happiness, then which option is better? I will always choose money. Money is important for aspiration, a better lifestyle, education, so on to fulfill our desires, etc. We should have clarity about the role of money in our life. Many people say, the so-called spiritual people, खाली हाथ आए हैं और खाली हाथ जाएंगे. So we come empty-handed and we'll go empty-handed. Then why run after money? So everybody claps. But is this a practical way of looking at things? Let me give an example. Suppose we have to go from Bangalore to Delhi in a flight. So we buy a flight ticket, and after we land in Delhi airport and go outside the airport, and suppose there we need not claim any amount from our office, then what is the value of the ticket after the journey? Nil. It is just a piece of paper. But if we go to the airport, Bangalore airport, and say, since anyway the value of the ticket will be nil after I land in Delhi, so now you allow me free trip in the plane to go to Delhi, what will these people say? The airlines people will kick us out. In that sense, in our journey of life between birth and death, money is required. This is how life works, like it or not. At the end of the day, everything becomes zero, no doubt. But before becoming zero, money has a value. The trick is to know how much value and time we give money in our life. So there is a concept of, most of the people just keep running after making a living. It's like animals, you see. If you see a wild animal, their entire life time that they spend in a day is spent searching for food. Most of the time, their entire life is just spent in eating and rearing. So, if you analyze, even in the modern world, what else is our life? The work that we do is nothing but a way of hunting for food. We work from morning 8 o'clock to 8 o'clock with hardly any time left for any other thing, for our loved family, for pursuing our interests, for spiritual activities, for whatever. So we are no better than animals, I feel, since most of the day is spent in form of hunting for food. So, to bring things into perspective, to be financial sound means 9 to 5 we focus on Lakshmi. The remaining time we focus on Saraswati. I hope you got it. The entire life is not to be spent on making money, but money has a value. There's a concept called FIRE, FIRE, financial independence, retire early, FIRE. This is a very deep topic in itself, which I will not be going into now. But in crux, it means that we, at a certain age of our life, say between 21 to or 25 to around 50 years, we work hard for money. We create wealth for ourselves and for our beloved ones. We create a legacy. And we, by using proper financial planning and methods, we build up corpus, we make money work for us and we stop working for money from then on, so that we can pursue whatever is of value to our life. This concept was deeply influential in my life, and I have tried to implement it. The next aspect is among the five parameters is to be socially connected. Man is a social animal, as you know, and we have to have harmonious relationship with our family, friends, relatives, colleagues, and other people for our journey in life to be smooth. We'll not go much into this in detail, but here, as the mantras which we said, the single point mantras for the other things, for us to be socially connected, the single point mantra is the um, is that rule: do unto others as you want others to do unto you. I hope it's quite simple enough. We do to others what we want others to do to us. This one simple mantra. So, among the five parameters, to be physically fit and healthy, to be mentally alert, financially sound, socially connected, spiritually connected. For physically fit and healthy, food and fitness. Food, eat only what adds value to your body. Anything manufactured in a plant is not good. Anything manufactured by a plant is good. Fitness, exercise for 30 minutes a day mandatorily. To be mentally alert, consume 1 hour of great content per day consistently. To be financially sound, to know the importance of money in our life and how to go about to be financially independent. To be socially connected, do unto others what you would like others to do unto you. And the fifth aspect is to be spiritually connected. Here again, we'll not go into so much details, but the single point mantra is to do some spiritual activity for 30 minutes a day. For usually people take it as a meditation. To just give a simple definition of meditation, it is to be present in the present moment. Once again, we'll not go into much details. So the spiritual activity can be to be in satsang, to meditate, to do japa. Some people will do puja, manasika puja, even helping, contributing our time for some social activity. But whatever it is to be alone with yourself is very important. Just walk in nature is also to be spiritually connected. So, one very good test for our how much we are advancing spiritually is that as soon as we go to bed, we should be dead. This is another mantra guideline. As soon as we go to bed, we should be dead. If sleep doesn't come soon, it means that there is a problem with our mental processing. So, this is in brief about some practical aspects. Before we go into the last aspect, the fourth Purushartha, or the fourth Purushartha, or the sixth in Maslow's hierarchy, that is moksha, or self transcendence. One thing in this five aspects of parameters for success, in the, to be spiritually connected, where I said 30 minutes of per day was one mantra. Another mantra, which very simple technique as we go through, it's not a technique, but a simple watchword, keyword, to be spiritually aligned as we go about our day. All life is yoga, said Sri Aurobindo. All our activities can be used as a way of spiritual progress. And a very simple method to be always doing spiritual sadhana, whatever we are doing, are two keywords. Please remember these two keywords: speed and focus. Speed and focus are our enemies in spiritual life. Speed, Vega, the speed of our activities, our mental activities almost reaches a feverish pace, which causes us to go more and more away from our core. And the remedy for this is Naidhanya. Not be explaining much in this, this is just a key words that I am telling. Vega and Naidhanya, these two are to be remembered. The antidote to Vega is Naidhanya, that is slow down. Slow down. Whatever we are doing, do that activities by slowing down a little. So when we slow down, automatically the fast-paced vibrations get relaxed. This is one thing. And another is over focusing. If we focus our mind too much narrowly on many things, even many good things in life, which we call as concentration, our devotion to the job, uh, whatever, is a form of contraction. Our mind, which is actually wide and very like the sky, gets concentrated. It is a very good uh, talent of the mind, actually, which differentiates us from the animals. But modern man has taken it to great limits. The human nervous system and brain or the mind is not built to be always concentrating for a very long periods of time. There should be periods of relaxation and concentration. Relaxation, release, concentration. But modern life uh, has caused a lot of focus, which causes contraction. And the remedy to this is Vistarata, diffusion, let go. Slow down and let go. These are the two key words to remember to overcome speed and focus, Vega and contraction. Please remember this. Now we come to the final discussion, the discussion of moksha or self-transcendence, the fourth purushartha and the sixth human need as per Maslow. Traditionally, moksha is interpreted as freedom from the chain of birth and death, freedom from samsara. Samsara is interpreted as birth and death. This is the traditional interpretation. So it is said that we have to do spiritual practices, and for lifetimes after lifetimes, birth after birth, we go on purifying ourselves till finally in one final birth we attain moksha, and we are no longer born on this. We are no longer born in this manifested universe. Be that as it may, we will consider moksha from a slightly different angle, from a slightly more achievable practical angle, a sort of psychological way, if you might say. Moksha can be considered as a sense of freedom, as a sense of completeness. Vedanta is in fact the solution to our fundamental problem. And what is the fundamental problem? It is that we all have a sense of incompleteness. We feel something more is required to fulfill us. This sense of incompleteness and requirement of something else to complete us is called as bandha, and this is an illusion. We are in a sense already whole and complete and require nothing outside us to fulfill us. A lot of confusion has been created in spirituality regarding the terms and used, and it has become a very tough subject, and moksha is made to look like a mountain, seeing whose height one tends to become negative and desolate, and causes us not to pursue spirituality at all. Two terms are there which causes a lot of confusion to spiritual sadhakas: enlightenment and liberation. Most of the people think that enlightenment and liberation refer to the same thing, to the same concept, and both are different words of the same thing. However, this is not so. A major dimension of our life is the mental aspect, the thoughts or the collection of thoughts which is called the mind. How much ever we say that we are spiritual beings, and how much ever we read about the soul, about the Atma Sakshatkara or whatever, the hard reality of life is that we are majorly in the mental aspect, dealing with the thoughts and the collection of thoughts called the mind. Let us take these thoughts. Every thought consists of two parts, an object which is seen and the one who is seeing it. And the one who is seeing it, we identify it with ourselves and as the I. The one thing which we are deadly sure, even if everything is negated, is that I exist. This feeling of I. Now, for example, I see a tree, I am talking to you, I am walking, etc. We assume that the consciousness of I exists permanently and that is experiencing the world. In fact, Vedanta says that there is no separate identity as the I. The I exists only along with the experience of an object. We are dividing this into a threefold way of the experiencer, experienced, and the experience. Vedanta says that this is an illusion. To know and realize this, that there is no I, there is no separate I that exists, is enlightenment. And this is a mental concept which has to be understood and which takes place in time. You can say that X and X got enlightened on 13th of 12th of December, so on and so forth. We can say that at 12 p.m. I was sitting on the mountain, 12th December 2023, and at 12 p.m. Enlightenment happened. Yes, but you have to understand the difference between enlightenment and liberation. Now, the natural state of the mind is a free flow state. This free flow functioning of the mind is called liberation. It is natural and simple. It is not a destination. It is not an event which happens in time. It is an ever-flowing, ever-present reality. This is what is called as our Atma Swarupa. It is the free flow of our experiences. When the mind functions without any struggle, it is called as liberation. This natural state is called as our Atma Swarupa. Now, there are two words used in Vedanta, Viveka and Vairagya. People take it as spiritual disciplines or spiritual goals to be achieved in the Sadhana Shat Sampatti. Now, Viveka is discrimination between the eternal and transient, between the Atman, from the Anatman, self and non-self. And Vairagya has been described as detachment from worldly pleasures. Now, there's a lot of confusion in this matter. The goal of the jiva is Vairagya only. Now we are equating Viveka with enlightenment and Vairagya with liberation, moksha. The goal of jiva is Vairagya only, that is mukti, moksha. Viveka or enlightenment is the path to attain Vairagya or liberation. Now, enlightenment is the path to attain liberation. In other words, Viveka is the path to attain Vairagya. Viveka is enlightenment, Vairagya is liberation. Vairagya, liberation, is our natural state. It is not something to be achieved newly. It is ever present. We only have to recognize it. Viveka, enlightenment, is a happening in our mental space, in our mind. It is an event which happens. It is an understanding. Now, to give an example, middle-aged person goes for a medical checkup and he asks for the doctor to give him advice to live for 100 years. The doctor asks, do you drink? The patient says no. Do you smoke? Never smoked. Do you eat meat? No, I'm a vegetarian. Do you eat fried foods, bhaji, bonda, etc.? Never touched them. Okay, do you have affairs with some ladies, with your neighbors? Oh, no, 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 I don't even look at them. Okay, do you see pornography? No. Do you go to cinemas? No. Do you see serials? No. Do you gossip? No. Doctor then said, then what will you achieve living for 100 years? So is this distancing of the pleasures of life Vairagya? Vairagya is commonly interpreted as being away from the worldly pleasures, distancing ourselves from the worldly pleasures. So, is this distancing ourselves from this about pleasures? Is the life of lived without entertainment, without pleasure, a life of Vairagya? To give you one more example, consider two lives, two situations. In the first life or the situation, you have pleasure, that person has pleasure and suffering in his life in different various measures. So when uh, when happy things happen, pleasure surfaces, and this person wishes that the pleasure should continue forever. And when sad things happen, difficult things happen, when difficulties arise, this person breaks down, uh, is very sad, and when the suffering goes off, he dreads that it may come back. So when happiness comes, he wishes and desires that it should be permanent. And when suffering goes, he lives in the dread that it may arise any moment. This is one situation. Consider another life or a second situation. Same situation, pleasure and suffering happens in life. This person is happy when pleasure comes and is sad when suffering comes, when difficulties comes. But he accepts both easily. He doesn't think that the pleasure should continue forever when he's enjoying pleasure, and he doesn't dread that the happiness doesn't may go away, and at the same time he doesn't dread that the suffering may come back. These are the two ways that the mind acts. In the first situation, happiness and suffering controls us. The second situation, both have no control on us. Now the second type of life or situation or the functioning of the mind is vairagya. We experience everything, but we are not attached. We set them free. The first state is samsara, second state is moksha or liberation, and this is our true swarupa. We only have to recognize this. No activities, no sadhana, no practices are required to realize that we are the Atman. That is the Atman or the Atma Sakshatkara or the Atma Swarupa or liberation or mukti, the terms which are used. It is not an achievement that we step by step we do something and one day we achieve that as a result of the causes. No, it is always ever present. Enlightenment, of course, is an event in time. It is an understanding which we have to attain and which has to be reinforced again and again. So this differentiation between these two will remove a lot of confusion in our minds. This was in short talk to uh, about how do we proceed. Hope it was useful. Hope it did not cause more confusions than what previously existed. And even if it causes confusion, it's a good thing. Confusion is a good state of mind to be in, provided we pursue and gain enlightenment. Om Namo Bhagavate